Regan Slaymaker for International Boxing News, and I have the pleasure to be joined by top-tier promoter Johnny Clark. Johnny, how are you? Another statement to be made on December. Oh, here we go, stretching out. I wonder where. No, I wonder where the banter's coming from here, Johnny.
Well, I watched a video of a very well-known boxer, and he was shaking a bit when he was shadow boxing. I thought, why is that? Do you know why that was? Regan Slaymaker. That's why.
The fear in a certain shout out to you, Conor Ben, because you know you did ask me for sparring. I swear I was a bit achy this week, Johnny. I'd done Leon C steps. I don't know if you saw. I said Conor, next week, son. We'll mix it with the best.
You said son as well. Oh, all banter aside, I think you stop him.
see, Conor, not me. Promoter Johnny Clark. You never know. It might be on the statement free, Johnny. You never know, mate. You're
gonna come back fight, little warm up. He's more than welcome. You know what I mean? I don't think he needs it though for his next fight, but I think if he wants it, I'm happy to promote it.
Pete Dobson, Regan Slaymaker, Chris Eubank Jr. You've never seen a run like it in professional boxing. But anyway, on to the actual boxing at hand. Johnny Clark, Johnny. Another statement to be made. December the 7th. What a show you've got on that date, mate.
Yeah, listen, 22 boxers, 19 with winning records. It's what I set out to do in boxing, and I'm achieving it. But that can't be done without the boxers. So full credit goes to them. I put on the show, you know, with the media, with the Walcats, the Eddie D's, and the production levels that these boxers deserve. And now they're giving me their record. So well done to them. And let's make it one to remember.
Definitely as well. Headlined by Ben Crocker and Stelios Papadopoulos as well. Another Welshman comes on a top tier show, aiming to get another win against Stelios, but this time IBF European lightweight title on the line.
Yeah, the first fight was so close and deserved a rematch. To get a rematch and then for the title, I originally tried to get that title for the first fight and they said no. And then I sent them the video of their fight and said, watch this. If it's a no again, I understand. They wrote back, confirmed, agreed. And then I had to change the date because the date changed, and they're in for a treat. It deserves this. They're two great lads, good records. And if the first fight's going to be good, then what's the second going to be if you've got a title on the line for it? Look at them now, they're all black-eyed up. You know what I mean? Like, they've been training hard, and it's a pleasure to see that they're giving it to me. And let's give them a night to remember.
Definitely. Correct me if I'm wrong, Johnny. That title will probably give them a top 15 ranking with the IBF?
Yeah, I believe so, mate. Yeah, so listen, what's next for them? You know, we did say we wanted the winner of Hatton and Flint on the Matchroom show, possibly. Probably been easier if Hatton won. But so maybe that's an option for the boys. You know what I mean? I'd happily let them go. But who knows what's next? But listen, they're due a big purse if they win this fight. So good luck to them.
Definitely. I want to actually throw something at you, Johnny. Obviously, Campbell. Well, a punch, by the way. You were bantering me at the start. Obviously, Campbell lost on the weekend. Obviously, Eddie was kind of saying before we get back into the show. Eddie was kind of saying, in a normal situation, if that was a normal fight, they wouldn't normally bring Campbell back. Obviously, there are a few massive differences, mainly him being obviously Ricky's son, but he's good value. He might not be on a Matchroom show next, but I'm sure Campbell Hatton could fit perfectly on a top tier show live on DAZN, keeping that opportunity there.
100%, mate. Listen, he's the thing is, when you've got a name like that, like Conor and the Eubanks, it's hard. You've got a lot of pressure on you, you know, and you get thrown up. I remember I went to, was it a Tottenham show, and he was on late on the card. He was on after Callum Smith or something, I'm sure, wasn't it?
That was, and it was in a really tough fight, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then it's probably had it a little bit hard, where if he could have built behind the scenes and been on top tier to start with, and then graduated and went on Matchroom, it might be a different story, but he went straight back in the deep end. For me, I'd say you probably just put him on earlier, or he has to go and be co-main event on the small hall show. But someone with a name like that with the tickets, I wouldn't say he needs to come to a small hall, but he'd be more than welcome to, you know, and not even fighting the winner of one of these, or maybe the loser of one of these, you know, because they're saying, I see these area English level, maybe the Southern Area champion versus him, you know, for an English eliminator. But tough shoes to fill.
It definitely is as well. Obviously based down in Essex now, so we could never know. Campbell Hatton on top tier. Why not soon as well? We'll go back to the card. Obviously, as we said, stacked as well. We've got the tournament on here. I think the main event is just doing the face-off, but the tournament we've just done it as well. Really good concept to kind of trickle into a massive stack fight card already.
Yeah, to be honest, I wasn't bored of promoting, but I was thinking it's always the same, like hunger, trying to get the best fights, trying to get the best titles, trying to get the most 50-50s, and I thought I need to change something up a little bit here. So I thought my first show was the Statement, and it had a tournament on it. Let me do that. So we've got a little 4-man tournament, semis and a final on the same night, and with that it's going to bring a bit more excitement. And listen, the 4 boys on the tournament are really good boxers, all with winning records. One, it was going to be his debut, but now it'll be 1-0 by the time it comes. And listen, they're all knockout artists. You know, so like the first tournament, I was lucky no one got cut. It was super welter. This is super middle. I've had to get someone on standby. Jackson Asagi's had to come on standby just in case anyone gets cut. And I'm telling you, it's on paper, 22 boxers, 19 with winning records. Best card I've ever done. Is it the best small hall show there's ever been? Who knows? But it's on the zone, so they're in for a treat.
Definitely, it's the perfect platform for it. Who do you think is the favourite going into that tournament, mate?
Well, Ryan Maycock's won it before. He won my first show, but that's super welter. I'll be honest, like obviously James Osborne's a favourite because he's been on all my shows and he's from the local area. I watched him on unlicensed right the way through. But John Marvin, fought for the Philippines, fought for England, and obviously Brandon Lewis. I've getting a lot of messages about Brandon, and I've looked into him a little bit more. And I'd probably, if I was to have a bet, I'd bet on him. But with 3 minutes, 3 rounds, betting goes out the window. It's whoever's up for it, whoever's game. You can give it your all for 3 minutes, 3 times. I believe we're going to see quite a few stoppages.
Definitely will. We look forward to seeing it high intensity on December the 7th as well. Obviously, there's 3 females on this card, but 2 in the same weight division. We've got Katie Orton and Harli Whitwell as well, both in separate fights. Katie fighting for the title, but are them 2 on a collision course maybe further in 2025?
I think so. I'd like it to be on my show as well, as I built on both, but I do think it will be hard to hold Harli back. She's got a better record. Once she gets this win back and then maybe a title winner, I think she'll be signed, you know. And Louise is a little bit older, a little bit more desperate. And
Louise Orton, sorry, she's fighting Katie Smith. There we go.
Yeah, sorry. I was going to correct you, but I didn't want to make you look silly again. But I think it's a fight that should happen. But the only problem is if they do fight, I believe there should be quite a bit of money involved for them. And I can't offer that on small hall, unfortunately. So unless a big promoter picks them up or they just go for it on my show to have the memory and a good title, then it's welcome on my show.
Could that headline for you? Obviously, yeah, that fight. Obviously, we've seen Lloyd Germain and Elliot Whale. They headline for the same title as well.
Yeah, headline or co-main. If it was, I'd 100% co-main it. If Ursu comes through this, I'd like him to headline the next one, maybe for the full title. That's the truth. But got to see how things pan out.
Definitely. I mean, you've just mentioned a few of the other undercard fights. What outside of the main event and the tournament and the two girls there? I mean, what is your who's your fighter? Who's your one to watch or the fight to watch on December the 7th?
Konstantin Ursu. Every show, without even seeing the lineup with the next show, keep watching him. He's the one who's going to 100% be world champion. You know, I'm confident in him. I've now signed him as a manager, my first and only person I'm going to manage for a little while anyway. So I like to give everything my all. And I got asked earlier who's my favourite boxer. Who else? You know, I wouldn't sign him otherwise. And I believe great things for him. Obviously, you've got the main event, the tournament, but something that's gone under the radars. Marley Mason versus Harry Karzis. You know, that's gone under the radar. It's an 8-round war, and I believe it might steal the show.
Definitely as well, and that's been building nicely. I think Ali Drew didn't have to say a word in their face-off as well. I mean, Johnny, obviously, would you say this year has been your best year as a promoter so far? Yeah,
first year was learning, or still I'm just starting the second year really. But it's definitely been my best year as a promoter. I've took on a lot, I've invested hard, and now it's on the zone. And I think the quality of fighters that want to come on as well, like the list to come on this show has been crazy. The people I've had to turn down, it's been so much. So yeah, it's just I think, imagine year 3. They're calling me for a face-off, sorry.
Okay, well, so I'll leave that. I'll leave this here, Johnny. We'll pick it up in a minute. But no, yeah, we'll go back to it in a minute. Just picking this up with promoter Johnny Clark. Just finishing off the media day, Johnny, ahead of a massive show December the 7th. Before I get tangled up in my own cables. But we were mentioning such a strong year for Top Tier, getting the DAZN deal. I mean, but what type of fights and what type? You mentioned before keeping the Southern area level title fights, but what is the Top Tier goal for 2025 moving forward? Is it just to carry on the momentum pushing forward?
I'll be 100% honest with you. I won't hide it. Like, I've lost money every show. Like, overall, the show it's a massive loss, you know. And the 2025 is about breaking even. You know, so whether it's investment, whether it's big sponsors, or whether it's DAZN paying me, paying for production, and all that would help. To whereas I'm lucky I'm successful outside of boxing, because if I weren't, no one can do this, because what I do outside of boxing does so well. Boxing compensates for it, you know. So yeah, so next year would mainly be about breaking even. So I just can go back to doing a bit more outside of boxing, you know, and not make it a failure. Because in my I've been successful. I'm on DAZN and everyone's here, and I'm having great fighters and great media like yourself come down here. But realistically, the money side of it has been a massive loss. But that's business, and what will come of it in 3 years, I know will be worth every penny that I put into it.
Definitely, I'm going to trying to remember some of my business GCSE here, Johnny. But that's called a loss leader, right? I mean, you're spending the money to show what your product is about. We're seeing it on a much larger scale with the Saudi investment right now. But what you're doing as well is surely in your mind leading to that sustainability aspect of Top Tier, and obviously the product's paying off with the DAZN deal being that kind of tip of that iceberg, mate.
Yeah, so basically, I'm Johnny L. Shake. But
that is the caption of this title of this interview. I've done it. I've smashed it, mate.
And that's it. But it's true. You know what I've done for small boxing, the money I put into it to the fighters, they might not have seen the money, the boxers in themselves, so they haven't got, you know, they can't go on holiday from the money I paid them. They're on the ticket deals. But what I've done for the show, you know, the walkouts, the LEDs, the arena, you know, and these type of things that I'm putting on, it's all for them, you know. But I know it's for them. And I have the best boxers from Small Hall on my show, and that builds my brand, and then my brand's up there. Like I'm saying, Eddie and all the lads, they always talk about me. I'm everywhere, in every interview, and I'm proud of that. And then what will happen is when the investors, when the signing actually comes from DAZN or whoever it will be, you know, I don't think DAZN would ever let me go though when they have this quality of show. But when that comes, I think, yeah, it'll be worth it, because money's nothing. I can stop boxing now and go and earn all my money back quite quickly. Like, I'm pretty confident in that, but it's the time away from my newborn, from my kids. My kids are texting me now, Dad, what do you want for dinner? Like, I haven't eaten today yet, and breakfast or lunch, and they've asked me about dinner, but it's the time away from them what would hurt me the most if I'm not successful, because I've done the money, fine, get that back, but the time with them I won't. So what needs to be in 3 years' time is them seeing that success from what I get from boxing.
Definitely, and you mentioned kind of the fighters who come on your shows, they might not get paid as much as they would on another show, but one thing I'll say, and obviously being in the arena, the product is there, and this is the opportunity to show themselves on DAZN. Definitely a massive coup for them, and a coup for the fighter. Kind of, yeah, you might not be getting paid as much, but your profile will rise drastically regardless if you win or lose, if you're in a good fight.
And your content's a big thing now online, like, you know, with the Misfits, and they're getting promo videos, photo shoots. Then after the show, I'm sending them highlight reels, photos of the fight, photos of the walkout, photos of their the result, you know, win, lose or draw. They're getting absolutely everything, where most people would charge them for that. I pay the people in there to do it, and then I send it to them. But for me, it's about building them as their brand while I'm building mine. Don't be greedy, don't be selfish. I can afford to take losses because the other companies I'm doing well, you know. So boxing one day we're doing well, and them other companies I probably sell on, you know. And so I'd love to be. I work harder in this company than I do in any other. So I'd like to be paid better than any other from boxing.
Definitely, and I'm sure it will come, Johnny. My final one, mate. I'm gonna ask you, what one fighter from each of these categories? What one fighter, what prospect would you want on your show? What title level, let's say from British, European and Commonwealth, and what world level fighter we have on your show. So one prospect, one title contender, and then what world level fighter would you like on your show? So you've got 3 fighters there.
Prospect. Tough. It's a tough one, if I'm being honest. Prospect. No, it's a real tough one. I'll have to pass. I can't even think of that one. What prospect?
Only the best questions from international boxing news right here, Johnny.
That's a very good question. My real answer, being the promoter I am, is they've already been on my show, you know. So I'm glad they're in. Like, I think Harli Whitwell, for one, is going to go on to do great things. Obviously, Konstantin Ursu, he's prospect, but he's beating that level now. So yeah, it'd be one of them two, if I'm being honest. And they've already been on. So yeah.
And then what title level fighter and then what world level fighter would you like on your show?
Title level, I'd love to have a British title on my show. I think like any boxer what you speak to will say they want to win the British belt. In my heart, I'd love to stand in between 2 boxers with the British title. And Konstantin Ursu's actually got a British licence, so that's something that can happen. And obviously he's in line for the Commonwealth as well, so why not chuck that in with it, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'd love a British title on my show.
Lovely. And yeah, Johnny Clark, I'll leave it there, mate. Any final words for the fans who are going to flock to the Brentwood Centre on December the 7th, but also watch the show live on DAZN as well?
Well, there's not many tickets left, so you're going to have to be getting in contact with the boxers because they're running out. I've got none to give out no more, put it this way. So get there, and if you can't get there, then watch it on DAZN because you've got probably the best small hall show that it's going to be. You need to support the small hall like you support the big boys because at the end of the day, you ain't going to get many big boys if our small hall promoters don't keep pushing. And not everyone can be on the big shows. So yeah, come and watch this one. Tell me what you think of it as well. I'm up for anyone who watches it who thinks there's anywhere that I could improve. I'd like to know as well.
Damn straight, and we're looking forward to seeing it as well. And don't message Lily Winch because I think she's run out of tickets as well. But promote.
I got no tickets.
And if you come to the Brentwood Centre, you will see a sea of Team Winch shirts as well. But promoter Johnny Clark. Johnny Clark, thank you very much, my friend. Cheers.
Thank you very much for your time.
No worries.